Hi, welcome to an island that has over 120 beaches and Europe's only desert. I'm in Lemnos, one of the less well-known Greek islands, which is actually just a few miles from the Turkish coast in the northern Aegean. Lemnos is a peaceful, pretty island, which was once an important trading post for ships passing to and from the Dardanelles. It was also an important strategic outpost for both the Byzantines and the Turks, who've each left their marks across the island. Today it's full of quaint villages, colourful festivals, and of course, a stunning coastline. Now that's what we call a beach. But the beaches are not the only place on this island covered in sand. And Dimitris Spendilis, chairman of the Lemnos Tourist Board, knows exactly where we should start our tour.
I think the first place that somebody must go is the desert of the island. There's no other desert in other island in Greece, and I think in Mesogeios. It is the only desert in an island.
At the end of a narrow, winding dirt track in the northwest of the island, you're suddenly surrounded by glorious golden sand dunes. Kostas Katanidis is our guide for the week.
We have the only desert, quite a large one, and it's the only one in Europe. There's no desert anywhere else.
It's a surreal and totally surprising landscape. Well, I didn't expect it to be like the Sahara. They seem totally out of place, like some giant Hollywood movie set, but this is a natural phenomenon, and certainly one that's worth making the awkward trip to find. Lemnos is full of surprises, and certainly not what you'd expect to find, sand dunes on the top of the mountains, even if down there the beaches are every bit what you'd expect. Travelling around the island, there's a real sense of the past. Away from the towns, you get the feeling that little has changed over the centuries. That the island is awash with history is no great surprise, of course. So is most of Greece. The surprise is that so much of it is only now being discovered.
We have the ancient sites. One of the sites, it is where it's called Poliochni, and it's where from the Trojan War they left from there to go across. It's right across from Troy. There's actually 7 different times, 7 cities built one on top of the other. Recently they start discovering now another city 12,000 years old. Also we have a lot of other sites. We have the ancient Iphistia, which is the largest in size. Is about, they're calculating between 70 to 75,000 population, which makes it very large for the time. It was between 2.5 to 2,800. It has an ancient theater, which it's been rebuilt, and it's working the last 3 years with all kinds of shows. It was one of the few towns that it had its own running water. They discovered that there was a well and tanks where they kept the water on top, and from there naturally they used the water to go down with channels throughout the houses to collect it at the bottom, where there was all the washing and showers and baths and everything else that they needed.
A visit quickly reveals the majestic position of the city, and the ancient theatre is magnificent. If you stand on top of the old steps, you get a powerful impression of how dominant this site would have been, yet also a sense of bewilderment over how it could all just disappear. Iphistia was the largest city on the island until the Byzantine era, and a huge amount of it is still buried. So much so, in fact, that historians and archaeologists are not really sure how far it extends. Just around the bay, another site mixes reality and mythology.
Caviria is another site where you have what we called bad gods, the Caviri. Caviri were the gods of anything that happened bad. And in order to actually calm them down and make them friends, they were doing a lot of things for them.
Caviria was a shrine to the great gods, and has more excavations of the sanctuary, although it's perhaps less impressive than Ephestea.
There is a cave. It's called Philoctetes Cave. Philoctetes was the best maker of archery. They needed him badly, but he got injured during the Trojan War. So they brought him here in that cave to get well.
The rustic stone steps that cling to the cliffside lead down to the cave of Philoctetes. Whether there's any truth in the legend or not, if the wounded Homeric warrior was abandoned here, for his infected leg to heal while his comrades made their way to Troy, there's no doubting it's a beautiful place to relax and recuperate.
He got well from a mud of terra, is called from the Roman, which is actually soil. That soil is made with lava, because we had also lava that was mixed with the good soil that's there, and it's they have discovering that it has medicine. That terra was called Limnian Yi, which it means Limnian soil. They used to put it in bottles. It was sold by the Greeks and the Romans to all over Europe.
Lemnos, in Greek mythology, was the retreat of Hephaestus, the god of metalworking, who was cast out of Olympus by the mighty Zeus. The majority of tourists who visit the island on package tours find themselves based on the west coast, to the north and south of the capital, Myrina. There are sweeping palm-fringed sandy beaches and panoramic views from the headlands. Myrina itself is a delightful small town. It's built around two bays and split by the huge rocky promontory on which the castle sits. The site once boasted an ancient acropolis, then a Byzantine fortress, and it's been fought over and modified by the Genoese, the Venetians, and even the Ottomans over the centuries. It's a steep but rewarding climb to the castle, and gives commanding views over the town and the surrounding coastline. Take a walk through the little streets of Myrina and you'll fall in love with the relaxing atmosphere and the quiet, unhurried way of life. The quayside tavernas around the old fishing harbour are the perfect spot to sit and while away an hour or so, sipping your drink and watching the world go by.
We have two ports. We have this one, which is called Myrina, and we have Mudros. Also, there is a site that I'd like to mention, it's my favorite, on the northern part of Plaka. There is an ancient town under the water. If you go with a boat in a clear day with no wind, you can physically see it, but you can dive there and it's fantastic.
I think that's an interesting thing.
This one piece will make 52 layers.
Watch on mobile devices or the big screen, all for free. No subscription required.
Now we're standing here next to a beautiful harbour. Is this typical of what the coastal areas are like on Lemnos?
And yes, definitely. What you see is the island of Lemnos, because of its shape, it creates a lot of bays and coves, and it's together with the beaches. The beaches are fantastic. They're fine sand, and there are too many. And you can have a 5-kilometer beach all to yourself.
Talking about our beaches, there are more than 120 beaches with sand in Lemnos. You can find a beach with a lot of people and organized, and you can find a beach that you're going to be by yourself.
And wherever you stay on Lemnos, you're never far from one of those beaches. You know, I just love the beautiful beaches here in Lemnos. Blue seas, sunshine. And where else are you going to find a glorious beach like this and have it all to yourself?
We have a lot of sports facilities, especially on the sea. We have one of the best places on the island for kite surfing. The wind makes it, the sea, the depth, the color of the sea is fantastic. It's like the islands of Caribbean. It's beautiful, nice and blue.
The whole island is delightful, from the pretty little harbours with fishing boats bobbing up and down, to the whitewashed chapels that are immaculately kept. The slow pace of life is really restful, and the winding lanes are not exactly built for hurrying along. So there's really no point trying. Just take it easy and allow yourself the time to take in all that wonderful scenery. On the east coast, take a walk across the fields to the nature reserve and see the wealth of flamingos and other bird life. For the history buffs, Lemnos also played an important role in the Gallipoli campaign during the First World War. The island was the forward base for the Allied troops heading across to fight on the peninsula, as well as being the main field hospital for the many injured that returned. It recently marked the 100th anniversary, with a number of remembrance services in the military cemeteries. On a brighter note, try and take in one of the many festivals and parades which always seem to draw the crowds. They're a great way to mix with the locals, get involved with the island's customs and crafts, and sample that renowned Greek hospitality.
Hospitality is something that they're born with. So this friendship is something which is very good to the people who visit the island. They enjoy themselves here. They feel welcomed. They don't feel like they're looking for their money only, you know. So definitely you feel like home.
Our talent is the hospitality, and you can understand it in the first time somebody comes into the island, in the first contact with the people here in Lemnos. You can feel the hospitality and the smile that they give to their tourists that coming to Lemnos.
For a taste of that hospitality, wind your way right to the end of the old road that leads to the once important harbour on Diapori Bay. Nowadays it's a sleepy place, a far cry from the 1920s when it was a thriving port. The once busy customs house is now just a crumbling shell next door to a small restaurant. It's here that the current owners, Stavro and Gina, told me it was run by their uncle for 56 years, who used it as a portside shop, and his father before that. Fresh water had to be bought by donkey from the mountains. When the couple reopened it as a restaurant, the locals rushed to try it, and the few remaining sailors also make good use of it. It's not hard to understand why. The fish and seafood is absolutely heavenly. Perfectly cooked calamari was followed by some of the best red mullet I've ever tasted. Make sure you try the saganaki too. That's fried cheese to you and me. And of course complement it with some of the choice local wine. And the local produce is also extremely important.
It's all traditional and kept without chemicals. It's all healthy, very healthy, and this is why we're creating so many products, because you don't have a massive production. What you have is family operations, small operations, and of course, as you know, it's difficult for somebody who doesn't have the capital to be able to spend money and create all that as massive production, which also will destroy, the tradition. So we don't want that. Everything remains on the slower pace, and it has its quality. You start from the grape juice, and then when it becomes a thick, syrupy, we pour this and make nice cakes.
From the outside, Gorali Fatini's bakery is just a typical small corner shop in a quiet village. But come inside, because the constantly smiling host has created her own mouth-watering array of Greek tastes.
The pasta, it has with carrots and herbs. The green one, it has spinach and vegetables. And the black one has ink from squid.
But for those with a sweet tooth, it's the cakes and the sweets that will have you drooling. From cakes dripping with local honey to beautifully iced individual sweetmeats that will make great presents if you can resist the urge to eat them before you get home.
Our gastronomy is something that it's wonderful. The tastes are wonderful. Our rabbit with onion, our flomari, the macaroni, our macaroni, and we have a wonderful cheese. And the wine is the most known wine in the world, I think, and the most tasty.
On the gentle slopes of Karpasi in the very centre of the island is the Chatzi Giorgio estate. The winery produces a superb selection of red and white wines, plus a delightful rosé in the form of Caviro. They also have some very acceptable semi-sparkling wine, which slips down beautifully on those warm Mediterranean evenings. The vineyard is open daily and offers tours and tastings in comfortable modern surroundings.
The wineries are fantastic. We have wineries that our wine is extremely of good quality. We use two different types of grapes, the Muscat Alexandria, which is very rare and very good in flavor. The weather, it helps us. The soil helps us. The soil is very rich. In the old days, everybody had its own vineyard. So they made their own wine. Some people still do. Say he'll have the barrels at home, wash them, get them ready, and by end of August, all the families and friends, they help. You don't have workers. Everybody pitches in, They collect the grapes, and they make the wine, and each one now tried to be competitive with the other, either a friend or a relative. No, my wine is better than yours.
Dracoprita is a pretty little taverna in the small and equally pretty main square of Portianu, and is about as close to the stereotypical alfresco Greek dining experience as you can imagine. Of course, lunch in Lemnos means joining with a bunch of friends and enjoying a glass of the local wine. Sitting on the long table outside the old stone building, shaded by the trees waving gently in the breeze, and sampling the most delicious fresh grilled meats was simply idyllic. There is something about staying in close proximity with the locals that I've always loved. Being in the heart of a small rural Greek village, wandering into the bar in the town square in the evenings, saying good morning to the old lady collecting fresh eggs from her chickens, it really makes you feel like you've connected with your choice of destination. But the danger is always that it can be too rustic, or not have the facilities and quality that you desire. In the tiny village of Varos there is a perfect solution. On the top of the hill is the beautiful Varos Village Hotel, with a quality restaurant, pleasant bar, an outdoor pool, and stunning views across the village and the surrounding area. But it also has an array of apartments right across the village, in historic houses and converted buildings. I stayed in the old monastery, which has spacious, comfortable rooms, complete with their own kitchen area if you want to opt for self-catering. It's a casual 10-minute stroll through the heart of the village back to the main hotel. Although if you don't fancy the walk, just call reception and they'll come and pick you up on a golf buggy. So you have all the independence of being in the heart of the village, but all the facilities of the main hotel. The island has so much to offer, but really does need exploring to get the best from it.
You don't get bored. You have the modern life also, but it's not that taking over the simple life and the calm life that you want and need. The sea, the sun, and the beach with fine sand, it hasn't. But then again, nearly everybody has. But what the island can offer more, much more, is all the other things that I said. The ancient sites, the history, the traditional food and products, the places where you can go and see fantastic combination of nature and, of course, the villages.
Perhaps the most unexpected thing is just how relaxed and uncrowded it is, especially since there are now direct flights from the UK. So, hire a car, talk to the tourism office, or get a good official local guide. You won't regret it.